Good evening. It is a MASH monthly meeting. Time for a beer. It is a MASH monthly meeting here at Ramstein. I got myself a double platinum. Delicious. That's pre-meeting beer.
I will try to run through this as quickly as I can. At the very end, Sean will say something. Everyone that's here that ordered cider can go get the cider, and then we will have the brewer's duel. So thank you everyone for coming. I see a few new faces. I am Rich Cohen. I am the president of MAD, 5+ years. Okay, I'm going to say a couple quick things. Thanks everybody for dealing with our rush job to get the AHA membership information. That was a ridiculously quick turnaround. It was not on us. We got an email late. They needed the information quickly, even though we had previously sent it twice. It's a new regime with the AHA. They broke off from the VA, and I think they probably lost everything that they had.
Did we cross the line? Did we get there?
We got there.
Yeah, we got there.
All right. But I wanted to give a big thanks to everybody. I know it was kind of a pain for us sending 3, 4, 5 emails, and it was important. The other thing is we are going to do a work shirt purchase. Paul is traveling, so he did not have time to put together a sign-up sheet.
Don't feel bad for him. He's going to go drinking beer across the country.
But when he gets back, he's going to get that up on Discord. So anybody that is interested, we're going to do an order of work shirts, similar to the one that Scott is wearing, and I think 1 or 2 other people. I think Jim was wearing one, and Keith's got one. So especially for anyone who joined after we did the work shirts a couple years ago, it's a great thing to have.
The first week of November is going to be Advent Calendar drop-off. You can drop off with me. I think Dan is a drop-off. Rich is a drop-off. The goal is, last year we had everyone bring theirs to the meeting and we mixed cases at the meeting, and it was a lot of work and not super enjoyable. So the way that we're going to do it this year is you'll drop off the first week of November. We will make all the cases ahead of time and bring them to the November meeting to hand them back to you. If you're in the calendar, I will be sending an email to you because I'm going to need your beer information so we can decide what order to put the beers in. And I will give you the details again in writing on all the drop-offs. And then if there's any issues or concerns, we can have a conversation. So stand by for more information, and if you haven't brewed already, please, for the love of God, make that happen. Yeah, we're like a month away from Advent Calendar season already. Yeah, so we used to have a plugin for the website that allowed you to take like Beersmith or Brewer's Friend or Brewfather recipes and display them on the website. I am attempting to get that working again. So if you have a recipe that you love, that you've wanted to share, something that won a medal in a competition recently, something that you feel like others should brew, something that won in a club-only competition or a brewer's duel, feel free to send it to me on Discord or email. Don't hand it to me because I need an XML file. I don't know how you'd hand that to me. And I will work on trying to get that up onto the website. The recipe stash is hidden right now, so my goal is to get that unhidden and get some new recipes added in there.
For the December meeting, like we did last year, if people want to bring their cider so we can share and taste it, that's great, if it's done by then, depending on what you're doing. We will remind everybody again about that, but since tonight's the cider pickup, I wanted to mention it so it's fresh in everyone's mind. Also, at the December meeting, we will once again do a white elephant exchange. For those that are not aware of what that is and how that works, it's basically bring something wrapped so nobody sees what's in there, either a bottle, a 4-pack, a 6-pack, whatever it is, something special that you would share with someone, giving it to them as a gift. Everybody that participates, we're just going to bring them in, put them on a table, and then all you do is go and grab one that is not yours.
There's a whole bunch of gifts, we can just wrap those up?
No.
No, only
Something special.
Something
Give
special.
to a friend and
It could be a home brew, it could be something you bought, it could be something that is rare. If you're traveling, bring something back, anything that you think would be a nice gift that you would want to get yourself as a gift, but you're going to give it to somebody else.
Nothing sad, old, oxidized, or shelf turkey.
What's it supposed to be?
Nothing dusty.
So we will announce that once again, but I'm giving people notice again, if during your travels in the next month or so, you come across something like that, certainly that would be appropriate.
So we just finished up the last meeting of Brewing Better Beer. It went pretty well. We broke it up into 4 sessions, and the last one we had Paul Odell from the NJ Hops come and help lead the conversation. And I think it went really well, so we're going to be doing it again. We are not going to meet for the next couple of months, but we're going to start up again in January, and this time we're going to do Tasting Beer by Mosher. So the second edition is what we're doing, which is the most modern one from 2017. I have a copy here if you want to leaf through it. This one's a little bit more like a undergraduate textbook is what I'm telling people. So this should be interesting. It's also on the reading list for a lot of things. It's on reading list for the tasting exam, Cicerone. So we should, we'll break it up into a meeting a month again, starting in January. So it gives you time before January to pick up the book.
So what I wanted to say was I participated, I think in not every one of them, but I missed one because we were traveling, but I enjoyed it immensely. And I will say that most of you guys are still working, but I'm retired, and even so, it was still challenging to get the reading assignment done. And maybe once I didn't complete it, but the experience was still extremely valuable because it's not just about, because pretty much everything that was important that you would have read is kind of reviewed by people who did read it. And a lot of opinions come out that aren't necessarily written in the book, and a lot of myths are busted because the books are written a while ago and things keep going, but you hear guys who are brewing and have tried different things. So I highly recommend that even if you haven't been able to do the reading, you join and listen and comment. It's a great value and a lot of fun because you get to drink beer at home while you're doing it. So there's nothing wrong with that.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Brian. It was great. I enjoyed it immensely.
When I agree, the conversation was better than the book. Like if I just read it on my own, we could all just go read books on our own. The conversation was much better than me just doing it. The other one is I want to do an open call to anyone who has ideas if they want to come do MASH labs. I've got a roster of ideas that I want that we have to kind of assign out, but I wanted to mention if anyone is doing anything that lends itself to that kind of a tasting. So if you're going to do a split batch and you can bring a 6-pack of one and a 6-pack of the other to see what variable changed, if you're going to dry hop one and not the other, or anything like that, that would be great. Come let me know, and then the benefit of that is you can get feedback from a ton of really great judges on what worked better, what didn't, that kind of funneling in, or if you're gonna blend, how much of each to do, that kind of stuff. So come talk to me, because we do have the classic ideas where we kind of assign out these big experiments, but I do kind of like the idea of people just, the natural kind of beer experiments that come along. So come speak to me if you have anything like that, okay?
We don't have any actual destinations in mind, but we've been talking about some sort of road trip. We've got enough in the budget where we could get a bus or something like that. Do something in either upstate New York, Catskills area. Keith might have some ideas. All right. Connecticut, somewhere like that. Could be a day trip. We could even do an overnight. There's a lot of things, but we don't have anything definite yet. We've got some ideas. Let us know what sounds good. We'd like to stick something on the books and get this going. I have not done these trips yet with MASH. A lot of these things happened before I joined. So I'd like to do something new. It would be a lot of fun. Double Tap did a thing for Myrna Homebrew Day where they gave out 5 gallons worth of an English strong ale for anybody that wanted to show up. And a lot of us did.
I haven't heard
No, I wanted to go over there and talk to them and see if they do well, because that was really fun. So we all fermented with different yeasts and different temperatures and different types of finishing. And this is the perfect mash lab because it was changed a lot of things on what was essentially originally the same beer. And we had talked about it at the time, let's get together in a year and have a big old party and taste all these things. And this came not too long after the Anchor celebration party that was in Neds, right? Where we all ended up with these giant bottles, like double magnum sized bottles. So we put some of this beer into these bottles and said, all right, let's bring these bottles back in a year, except Chris brought us back too early. And then, so we don't have a date yet, but I'm thinking we could probably find a day in December and get together and have, just to get together at somebody's house. It could be my house, it doesn't matter. And just we'll bring all of our double tap beer from last year and taste it and have some food and have a good time.
We should invite the guys from Dublin out. I'm sure everyone will taste that.
Oh, yeah, that would be good. And if you didn't make one, I'm sure there's something that you can bring that is interesting to share. So we'll stick that onto Discord and pick a day and just take a look.
Yeah, and like we said at the last meeting, if anyone has ideas for a MASH gathering, just let us know. We'll see if we can work it into the calendar. I mean, that's ongoing throughout the year. This was just something that we had specifically talked about. Let's age this beer for a year and then get back together and taste it, especially since we all did something different, even if it was just using different yeast. And fermentation control is different. So that we are definitely doing.
I will announce a new MASH gathering, which I don't have a date yet for, but I want to have people over to my house and have cocktail night. Completely different than beer. Mixing cocktails I've been doing way longer than I've been doing beer, and I think it would be a lot of fun to have a cocktail night. I'll put a sign-up sheet. First X number of people that sign up, come on over, and the rest are going to miss out and have to hear about it and be sad. So, get on Discord.
Full fluff retire.
Dress code is anything.
Make sure you have clothes on.
Clothes preferable.
Dress code is yes, please.
Let's rephrase that. Dress code is something.
Dress code is yes, please.
All right, thanks, Dan.
So, speaking for Paul, and sorry, some of this is handwritten notes I'm gonna try and figure out as I go. I did a minimal amount of prep here. For Motown MASH, Eric Blaine had one hell of a showing. He had a first place with an old ale, first place with his Baltic Porter, not surprising, second place for his Belgian Dark Strong, and I believe second in best in show for your old ale, which is pretty impressive considering that was definitely not an old ale. But having judged it,
He did earn it. It took like 15 years for that beer to be wrapped.
having judged it myself, I will say it was a damn good old ale. Myself, I got a first place for an experimental mead, which would be a Bochet Sizer. First place for a British brown ale that was definitely supposed to be a British porter. And a third place for a Munich Helles. Dan Paragon, I have a second place for your semi-sweet mead, so obviously that little meeting at your house on meads paid dividends. I believe a second place for your Wee Heavy and Brian Hoppy, a third for your sweet mead or semi-sweet mead.
Yeah.
Very good. Rich, you got a third place for a barley wine. And I believe that should say Micah Parks, right? Michael Parks. Okay. I'm sorry. Micah Star. My bad. This is why we let Paul do it, not me. For a British brown ale. So congrats everybody. Other competitions, Keith, I don't know what MVHBC is.
It is a Massachusetts.
Okay. Third for a Mertzen and a third for a Belgian double. And at the Malt Infusers, don't know where that one is either.
Kentucky.
Are you road tripping or shipping?
We're going for one every day.
A third for a Bière de Garde and a second for a British brown ale. So with all that said, go ahead. In the home stretch for Home Brewer of the Year for MASH, the standings are, well, apparently he likes you so little that instead of 7th, you're in 9th. In 6th place is Alex. In 5th is Jordan. In 4th is myself. 3rd is Dan Paragon with 33. 2nd is Eric Blaine with 61. Ooh. And then in 1st is Keith with 96. Yes, month and a half to get at least 36 points. So you're within striking range. All right, the TTB I don't recall what that stands for, but the rookie competition standings. John Milliken and Jack Paxton are both on the board with a point each, tied for third. Is Alex here? No. All right, Alex is in second with 20 points, and I am in first with 28 points. Alex is not here to know that he still has time to catch me, so more to my benefit. All right, and to wrap this up before I screw up anything else, so special congratulations to Eric Blaine here, who managed to pull out New Jersey Home Brewer of the Year for this past year. Which is one hell of a feat. Congratulations.
Go Dusty Bottles.
Dusty Bottles for the win. Probably unbeknownst to you, but there is I believe starting this year, a Home Brewer of the Year trophy. So we have the same guy who makes our awards, makes you a custom Congratulations, Eric.
We brought the extra bottles from Motown Mash. Like last year, we'd like to share them with Mash members. So take a couple of bottles as you're leaving tonight. We have the style number on the top, but some of them just have the style number and you don't really know what it is. Especially like a fruit beer, you have no clue. But take a couple of different styles. Don't just, if you like IPAs, don't take all the IPAs.
Take it, try it, don't be afraid. If it ain't good, dump it.
None of them will kill you.
No judge died during the competition.
If you take a mead that turns out to be
No, meats aren't there. Meats aren't there.
Okay.
No judge died except for the meat judge.
50% chance of vomit.
So this is one of the benefits of being part of MASH. We get, instead of dumping these, instead of just giving them out the day of, we decided, we've been doing this for years, to share them with the members at the meeting following the competition. It's a nice thing to have.
We
Sometimes,
give free beer. It's not always good beer, but we give
yeah.
free
But it's nice to every now and then just grab one and taste it and say, wow, this is good. Okay, real quick, in November, our monthly meeting is going to be at Pallet Brewing in Maplewood. For those of you that don't know, they opened a couple of months ago. We do have to start a little bit earlier. They've got to have us out by 10 o'clock, and so we're going to start the meeting at 7. So it's just 30 minutes earlier. Please, if you can make it, come earlier. Parking is street only, correct?
So this year I won't be doing the beer class, but we do want to get some mead certified judges, so we will be doing a mead class. I don't know exactly when, I don't know exactly the time, but it will be probably at the Wine Barrel. It will be Monday nights for sure.
Will there be honey?
There will be honey. There will be sweetness.
Will there be tannins and acid also?
There will be tannins and acid. But yeah, so for people who are interested in becoming mead certified on their BJCP rankings, this will be your year. So that's my goal. I still need to find an exam, so there's still a lot of details to be worked out. I'm expecting it's probably going to start like February, probably not even in January.
I don't know if you saw the information, they have a date for that mead competition in Pennsylvania. It is in February.
Okay.
I'll get you that information.
Okay. Yeah. Is that Fall Hall?
Yeah, they renamed it.
Okay.
I love it. Okay, so back to November. The Brewers duel at Pallet is going to be New Zealand Pilsner. It's going to be Dan and Rose versus Chris and Joe. So looking forward to that. And we're also going to be having the club-only competition, which is a clone of Steve and my clone of last year of Sierra Nevada Celebration Ale. So we'll be drinking some good beers that night. Tonight, we're going to be, first, Sean's going to mention about the cider. Everyone's going to get their cider. We're going to do the Brewers duel. After that, we're going to let Greg talk about Ramstein a little bit. Right now, we'll turn it over to Sean.
Okay.
Sean, do you want to give away your cider?
I don't give away all your ciders. They're at my truck just on the side, right in front of the bay door. We can do an assembly line. I don't know how you guys want to do it. You guys
Stores in a cold storage, he stores enough apples to press twice a week.
for the month of June. He has over 600 apple trees, and it's just a really cool experience. It's a really lot of fun to do. Next year, they want us to bring a 500-gallon container, and then I'm not kidding you. Well, it was a lady.
Yeah, I don't think she quite understood.
She didn't quite understand.
Where is that?
It's in double will pay them $6 a gallon.
And they're fine. She was just being cranky.
Mike is going to announce the winners. We're going to then have each of the brewers talk about their beers because they may be different styles.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So tonight's winner was beer A, brewed by Jim Goward. So I brewed this beer once before, and I used.
What's the style?
Style is just a Pilsner. It's just a random Pilsner.
Really?
I used just straight Pilsner malt. First time I brewed it with RO water, and I did some chemistry, water chemistry. This time I actually used Greg's water. I came down here and I took his filtered water and I brought it home, and I did straight Pilsner malt, 11 pounds of Pilsner malt. I did Waka, Molotov, and I had a mystery hop that I didn't even know what it was, and I kind of just added it in. It wasn't labeled, but it smelled good, so I added it. 3470 yeast. The original gravity was 1055. Final gravity was 1009. ABV was 6.04. I brewed it on Saturday, August 30th, kegged it on September 30th, and I just do natural carbonation, so CO2.
Well done.
Very nice.
So of course, it's not Ed, it's Ed and Rose. Rose provided me with documentation of what we did, and the grains were Pilsner.
Don't worry, we all know she's the brains of the outfit.
Brains and report everything. Yeah, I'm just a pretty face. Pilsner malt and Carapils. 4 pounds of Pilsner, 3 ounces of Carapils. So we were shooting for a German Pils. And so we used the Hallertau Magnum, Hallertau Mittelfrüh at 15 minutes. So it was Hallertau Magnum at 60 minutes. And it was about 3-gallon batches, a 1/4 ounce, and then half an ounce of Mittelfrüh at 15 minutes, and half an ounce of Tettnang at 15 minutes. And we used 3470. And what else do we need to say? Anything? Well, it was, when did we start this? It was August 7th, and fermentation we started on the 10th because sometimes we just get distracted. And we fermented for about 2 weeks, and then it's bottle conditioned. No, well, first it was lagered for like a month, right? And the thing we learned from this, I think, is one of the things we learned from it was we should have bottle conditioned it before we started lagering it, because when we put it into the bottles, there was hardly anything cloudiness at all. And I said, oh my God, all the yeast just fell out. And about a week later, we popped one open and it was completely flat. I was like, there's nothing in there. And so then, because I had been at the last meeting about bottle conditioning, and someone had talked about how you could heat them up to help encourage the carbonation. So we did that. We managed to get it into an incubator. So we got some carbonation going on. And then here it is. So it was a great experience. Thank you guys very much for giving us the opportunity and for participation. Congratulations.
What's that?
Hold them over to draft.
Yes, we should do that. Jim, could you come over here for, yeah, so Jim's gonna pick Jim's gonna pick the brewer for the next challenge, and then he or she will pick
Which month is it?
the month after, I think January? January. And whoever he picks has to be here.
Ray Monahan.
Ray, you still here?
Still here.
Okay. So So you can pick your challenger, you can decide what you want to brew first. There's no pressure if you want to wait and figure out what you want to brew.
No, I don't want
Okay, what do you can brew?
stout.
Stout, what kind of stout?
American stout.
American stout, okay. Pick your challenger.
Don Taggart.
Don's here. Don! Where's Don? Are you in the back on the phone?
He's in the back on the phone.
Yeah, he's in the back on the phone.
Go grab them.
Go tell him he's needed.
Come around this way. So, who wants to go on a tour of a brewery? I think it's seems good. Let's meet out here and we'll go. I know a lot of you guys have been here before, and I really appreciate you coming back. Jim, of course, has helped us out for years. And so is Susan.
And Susan.
And very grateful. Actually, very, very grateful. And we're in Morris County as well. So for years I've been saying we should have you guys up here more often. This was an impressive meeting. Kudos to you guys. I mean, you have your act together. You're focused on some good stuff. You know, before I opened High Point Brewing Company, I was the president of the New York City Home Brewers Guild. That's really what somebody asked me earlier. What kind of inspired you to get into the beer business? You know, making beer. And it was, you know, initially I learned about craft beer when I was attending the University of California. My first beer that really kind of turned the light bulb on in Northern California was Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Still love that beer, great beer. But, you know, that sort of opened the door, and I started home brewing, you know, and you sort of get that gratification of people loving your beer, you're winning awards, and then at that time in the, you know, the late 80s, early 90s, craft brewing was really just in its early days. There he is, Jim. Good job, Jim. Congrats. Jim knows his way around this brewery as well. We can answer questions later. But back in California is when I really learned about craft beer, and I happened to be in California in Northern California when they had that massive earthquake in San Francisco during the World Series. That shut down San Francisco, so when I graduated, really wasn't a place for me to go back home to New Jersey. And I came back here, got a job in Manhattan, and you know, that's where I started to really get into the New York City Home Brewers Guild, and just like you guys, you know, do the competitions, you know, we do, you know, all the AHA stuff, you know, BJCP stuff, and it was just an incredible experience. And at that time, you could feel, like you talk about an earthquake, you could feel the earth starting to shake in the direction of craft beer appreciation. When we first started in 1996, craft beer was essentially unknown in New Jersey. You could point to like 5 places in the entire state of New Jersey that had like craft beer on tap. The rest of them, don't worry, nothing's gonna hurt you. And you're in a real brewery now. You know, this is not a museum. So anyhow, it took a long time to like develop kind of the business plan and model. My father-in-law, I give him a lot of credit. He passed away. He was great at the one thing that I think changed my life, which was he was able to get me an internship, an apprenticeship, and a job. I got the job, but the apprenticeship at a German brewery in about an hour and a half southwest of Munich, in what's known as the Allgäu region, which is, I was south of Munich, north of Zurich, Switzerland, right in the foothills of the Swiss-German Alps. And he said, before you quit your day job, take a leave of ask your boss for a leave of absence, see if you can take a couple months off, and see if this is really for you, because you got a nice paying desk job, and you're going to go into a factory environment. You really need to make sure that's what you want to do. And I give him a lot of credit for that, because I think today you're seeing a lot of breweries open up and close. Part of that has to do with the fact that I don't think they knew what they were getting into in the climate they're involved in. It is craftsmanship, but it also is, you know, manufacturing work. You know, you can feel what it's like in here, right? This is comfortable. And Jim will tell you, in June, July, August, and part of September, it's uncomfortable here. And in January, February, March, it's uncomfortable here. But it's the passion that pulls you through it. It's probably the same passion you guys have for coming out on a Tuesday night to northern Morris County to come drink some beers, and also the
passion that makes you guys spend 6, 7, 8 hours on a brew day, doing all grain brewing and meticulous cleaning and making sure your fermentations are right and your packaging and carbonation is right. It's that passion. I just followed my passion. So, in 1996, I was able to open up High Point Brewing Company. A little bit of a marketing faux pas on my part, but or I should say, just advertising faux pas. We originally wanted to be located in High Point, New Jersey, hence the name High Point Brewing. It reminded me of the foothills of the Swiss German Alps where I worked. When we got up there and started looking around for locations to open a brewery, we realized the water wasn't where it needs to be. It's propane tanks. Anybody live north of Butler and Westwood? Anybody have propane tanks in a well?
Yeah.
Yeah. It really doesn't work in this scale or larger. And then power wasn't there either that we needed for the operations that we run. And we're not a relatively big brewery, but you definitely need that infrastructure. And the closest place we could find to High Point is where we're standing right now. So the brewery was, incorporated as High Point Brewing Company. We wound up in Butler, primarily because of the water and also because of, the utilities. When we first opened in 1996, this place was like, I've seen better places on TV in Gaza. Gaza. It just was like, the building was built in 1876, right at the time of the Civil War. You're standing on floors that are 155 years old, that the walls are 155 years old, and if you're here in a rainstorm, you'll realize the ceiling's also 155. So it's charming and beautiful, and like I said, it has a lot of things to it, and that's one of the reasons we're here as well. Originally, this is the Butler Hard Rubber Mill. The town of Butler is named after Richard Butler, who was a wealthy industrialist in the mid-1800s. In fact, he's on the board of directors for the Statue of Liberty. So if you go on a tour of the Statue of Liberty, you walk through the little museum that they have there, they give you the chronology of the building of it, and you'll see Richard Butler mentioned a bunch of times throughout that. But yeah, he came here, he built the American Hard Rubber Mill, which manufactured a lot of things from, steering wheels for the Model T Ford, the black Ace combs, bowling balls. In fact, one of the big buildings here was a bowling ball QC spot where they would drop the bowling ball 30 feet and had to bounce to a certain height. So there is a museum at the other end of the building here that describes everything in town, including what went on here. But when we got here, like I said, it was pretty rough industrial, and there wasn't a lot of opportunity for craft beer, certainly in this part of New Jersey. So our primary markets, and still are, Manhattan and Philadelphia. And now craft beer, thanks to the passion of you guys going out there and just the evolution of craft beer, it's sort of filled in. The suburbs, sort of New Jersey is now, when we first started, it was hard to find a place that carried craft beer. Now it's hard to find a place that doesn't carry craft beer, which is great. Which is great. And so that's sort of the history there. Yep. Time, I'd say pre-COVID, and certainly like in 2023, where it's like, well, what's new? What's different? What are you doing different? And that pushed a lot of guys down a road where they're just making gimmick beer that is inconsistent. And then that consumer that you were talking about, that millennial, that Gen Zer, is going out and trying something that really is unpleasant for your palate, especially a new palate. They're not really they don't get it. And then all of a sudden, it's like, here's double dry hopped IPA with this thing and that thing and that thing, and they try it, and it's heavy, it's got lactose, I'll take a White Claw, Surfside, and that's where that went. That's where that demographic went. Of course, and then the other thing is the THC. So I think the timeless classic styles have worked for us because they're timeless. They've been around for thousands of years. I don't think they're going anywhere. But that was the road we picked. If we did the IPA thing 20 years ago, we probably owned this building. But The alternative is we probably might have gone out of business too.
Right.
Because everybody done that. So, you know, I digress a lot. But, you know, getting back to what we do, we make traditional German-style beers. We only use 4 ingredients. Our beer, you know, meets the Divine Heizgebot beer purity law from 1516. You know, it's malt, hops, water, and yeast. So we try to make this more of a public relations experience, and kind of try to do that without losing money. So it's more of advertising and, you know, creating a passion for our beer. Any questions so far? I give them a big history. Name Ramstein. So name Ramstein is from the American Air Force Base in Germany, not the band. And it's, in fact, we started with the band. Look where they went. But they added an extra M, which stands for money. And but all kidding aside, no, it's named after the American Air Force Base in Germany because our recipes really are a combination, a hybrid of an American and German experience, and that's what you have in Ramstein. It's the largest military base in Europe. It's a place where a lot of Germans meet a lot of Americans, and it's just it's that hybrid, you know, collaborative culture, and that's sort of what our recipes are. We're not interested in, you know, try our beers. They're not, you know, Xerox copies of Weinstefan or Polan or anything like that. We try to take our creative spirit, add a little bit to it, and make it something different than like the old beers. The one key ingredient, the 5th ingredient I mentioned, is freshness. So if you taste our beers, you can see how fresh they are compared to what you're getting that's shipped overseas. So I think that's our biggest competitive advantage from the Europeans is the freshness quality. And we're proud of that, you know, and we've won medals for it. So World Beer Cup was the big one for our amber lager. We won gold medal for Vienna style lager, our amber lager. You know, 52 countries, 10,000 entries, and this small brewery won a gold medal. So biggest award in New Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good.
When was that?
2023.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. So we start with grain that goes into the hopper up here. There's some milk. We got our mash. And you can also see here there's a motor and agitator. The mash is in the tank and it's being constantly mixed by this mixing system. This is imperial filter. So wheat beers typically wheat beers typically for around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Once primary fermentation is done, we'll just before it's done, we'll put this pressure lung valves on it to allow CO2 to, instead of vent, it'll actually dissolve back into solution and carbonate the beer. You can see the